For those who just joined us in the program, we are now covering the passing of the late Minister Tjahjo Kumolo, and now we are connected with our friends at the National Heroes Cemetery in Kalibata, Jakarta. And as we see, the remains of the late minister is now ready to be buried.
Yes, and before his death, Tjahjo Kumolo was actually being taken care in the hospital for about 2 weeks since 21st of June 2022. Now, people may know him, his colleagues will memorize him as a rational politician, and obviously when he states a statement or declares something, it's always in a polite and manner way.
So as you can see, the military is preparing for a special military funeral. These are special funerals that are conducted for those who have served the country with a special recognition from the highest in the country, that is the president. And if I'm not mistaken, the coordinating minister will be in charge of also leading this ceremony.
And as we all know, Tjahjo Kumolo was the State Apparatus Empowerment and Bureaucratic Reform Minister in this administration led by President Joko Widodo. This is the second term, but on the first term, Tjahjo Kumolo was the Home Affairs Minister. And as we heard before from the outpouring condolences messages from the colleagues, from Mahfud MD, the coordinating minister of political, legal and security affairs of Indonesia. He was saying that Tjahjo Kumolo was a very good friend.
Yes.
And also lots of people were actually looking up to him when it comes to, making political career.
Yes, and decisions also.
Yes.
Employees at the ministry said that Tjahjo Kumolo was actually a caring, very caring leader. Now, he always led by example and would put much through into solving all problems.
So we, as you can see, it's a funeral fit for the late minister. And here in Indonesia, the military processions, as mentioned before, are specifically held for individuals who have served the country, whether it's in the military, as president, cabinet, or other perhaps individuals that have proven or received awards from the highest in Indonesia. And how is this usually performed? So what happens is when a military special procession is performed at front of the house, the reason why Mahfud MD was there to lead the processions was, of course, the family has to entrust the remains of the late deceased to the government to be given the special treatment as in the special funeral. I experienced this before with my grandfather, and it was such a funeral procession to behold, because I can only imagine that, the late minister was such a remarkable man that he is left with so much great impressions, and he has a record that will be read out loud. All of his achievements, all of his awards that he received will be read out loud by the military during the funeral processions, which will be such a great, would be such a great way to celebrate the life of the late minister and all of his achievements.
Now, Kai, speaking from the experience, you coming from the military family and you've experienced this with your grandfather, how long should the ceremony take?
Well, it depends on two things. So there is a ceremony for us, for the family to give the remains to the state to hold such a procession, and then in the funeral itself. The state will then proceed with the military around. So that will take about 20 to 30 minutes.
Half an hour.
And then the military will be there with the special processions. They will have, the gun salutes, gun salutations, as well. And it's going to be, quite, for people seeing there, it's going to be quite a celebration of life.
How many gun salute are there usually?
I forgot, but if I'm not mistaken, there should be at least 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
Okay. So Mr. Tjahjo is one of the PDIP cadres and also served as the Secretary General from 2010 until 2014. Now he resigned from his position as Secretary General of PDIP when actually Mr. Jokowi itself was elected as the Minister of Home Affairs in the working cabinet. So it's 2014 up until 2019.
Now everyone, we are now joining our reporters and our contributor from the National Heroes Cemetery in Kalibata, Jakarta.
Bintang Bayangkara Utama. 3. Bintang Kehormatan Raja Wali. 4. Bintang Kehormatan IPDN. 5. Bintang Emas Polri.
Dari IPDN.
6. Gelar Adat Kerajaan Goa. 7. Gelar Adat Kesultanan Buton. 8. Gelar Adat Suku Kabupaten Maibrat, Papua Barat. 5. Meninggal di Rumah Sakit Abdi Waluyo Menteng, Jakarta pada hari Jumat tanggal 1 Juli 2022 pukul 11.10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat karena sakit. Jakarta, 1 Juli 2022 atas nama Komandan Komando Garnison Tetap 1 Jakarta, Kepala Staf Novi Helmi Prasetya, SIP MIP, Brigadir Jenderal TNI. Selesai.
Pembacaan apel persada oleh Inspektur Upacara.
Saya, Pratekno, Menteri Sekretaris Negara Republik Indonesia, atas nama negara, bangsa, dan Tentara Nasional Indonesia, dengan ini mempersembahkan kepada Ibu Pertiwi, jiwa raga dan jasa-jasa almarhum nama Haji Tjahjo Kumolo, Sarjana Hukum, jabatan Menteri Pendayagunaan Aparatur Negara dan Reformasi Birokrasi Republik Indonesia, putra dari almarhum Bapak yang telah meninggal dunia demi kepentingan serta keluhuran negara dan bangsa pada hari Jumat tanggal 1 Juli tahun 2022 pukul 11.10 waktu Indonesia Barat di Rumah Sakit Abdi Waluyo karena sakit. Semoga jalan Dharma Bakti yang ditempuhnya dapat menjadi suri tauladan bagi kita semua dan arwahnya mendapat tempat yang semestinya di alam baka. Jakarta, 1 Juli tahun 2022, Inspektur Upacara Pratikno.
Pasukan pasang sangkur. Persiapan penurunan jenazah. Regu salvo, sikap salvo atas. Para pendamping dimohon untuk merentangkan bendera merah putih setinggi dada. Dimohon hadirin dan pelayat yang duduk untuk berdiri. Penghormatan kepada jenazah dipimpin oleh Komandan Upacara. Hadirin dan layak dipersilakan untuk duduk kembali.
Jenazah almarhum Tjahjo Kumolo sudah dimasukkan ke liang lahat, terus sudah dikebumikan lewat upacara militer yang berlangsung di Taman Makam Pahlawan Kalibata, Jakarta Selatan. Proses ini masih terus berlanjut. Iya.
This is the state procession, state funeral procession of the late Minister Tjahjo Kumolo, who passed away earlier today. And we've just seen the salutation, and now the remains are being put down into the ground.
And this is the final resting place for Tjahjo Kumolo, as he deemed to be one of Indonesian finest, because he did serve for Indonesian's administrations, the last one as the state apparatus empowerment and bureaucratic reforms of the Republic of Indonesia in the second term of President Joko Widodo, and before that, on the first term, he was the Home Affairs Minister.
Now, currently, the very own President Joko Widodo is on a state visit to Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, where he will attend a bilateral meeting with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Now, he recalled that the late minister was a youth activist. Now, he became the Central Java regional head of the Indonesian National Youth Committee, or KNPI, when he was in college and a politician. So Kumolo passed away at the peak of his service to the nation of Administrative and Bureaucratic Reforms Minister, and we are sending our condolences.
So prior to this military funeral service, the remains of the late minister left Abdi Waluyo Hospital around 1:30 p.m. heading to the funeral home, which was the official residence of the late minister. And also the final funeral prayer was led by the coordinating minister of Legal, Political and Security Affairs of Republic of Indonesia, Mahfud MD.
And as mentioned before, in the funeral were the awards and achievement that the late minister has received. So, the irony that today is National Police Day, the late minister has actually also received a star of the honorary alumni of the Police Academy in Semarang, and also a golden star from the Indonesian Police. Indonesian National Police of Republic of Indonesia, and also an alumni of honor of the IPDN, and also another star of honor from the Sulawesi Kingdom.
Yes. The Kingdom of Celebes, yeah?
Yes, the Kingdom of Celebes, and one more star of honor from the regional government of the South Sulawesi province here in Indonesia. So
and the late minister's body is being kept at, before this, to the burial.
As we can see now, the
late minister's body is actually being kept as his official residence.
Over.
Now, as we can see on the screen, maybe this is part of the colleagues and also families about start to gather around and pay their last respects by throwing the rose petals.